Thanks for joining us. Daniel's on the line. Welcome, Daniel.
What up, Mr. Potts? How's it going, bud?
Oh, I'm going to I'm going to switch to guns here. Thought I was on, but I don't know if you guys have ever walked through an airport with ear pods on, but then have the FaceTime live and you're yelling at your phone, thinking that you're the only one that can hear it. That's a true thing. I think you have to be older than 40 for to be afflicted by this virus, but it can happen. It can happen to you.
Yeah, it's possible. Probable. All right. How you doing, Potts?
I'm doing great. Doing
Yeah.
great. Uh, Summer is officially underway. Yep, doing fantastic.
We've had
Um,
a lot of racing.
Yep, lots of racing happening. I, is there a new Ironman race in Ohio?
Great question. Don't know the answer. Anyone? I feel
There,
like
I
someone might know.
think someone would know.
There we go. I see someone is coming to our rescue. Maybe. We'll have to Google it. It's worth a Google.
It's Sandusky?
Sandusky's hosting an Ironman.
I think so.
That used to be a Rev 3. I remember
They
that.
moved it twice. There is a Ironman in Ohio,
Okay.
Yeah,
but they've moved it a couple times. So let me see. Let me
Wait, like
Google it.
a full or 70.3?
No, no, a 70.
Yeah, yeah. This is news to me. Yeah. You know what the best race in Ohio is, though, right, Andy Potts?
I do. The Triple T, Daniel.
Yep, hands down, best race in Ohio. Maybe the best
Let's
race
go.
in the country.
I was actually talking with about a race format. What can make a race sticky? What can make a race good? Um, when we look at like how to develop and how to have fun experiences, do cool things with cool people. Back in the day, there used to be a race called Wildflower, and it was a whole weekend of racing, and there was camping involved and camping and racing, and very similar to the one at Triple T. Go ahead, Daniel.
They just had it again.
Wild card.
Yeah, they just had it again. They brought it
Yep,
back. Keep going,
they
sorry.
brought bringing it back. What's old is new again.
Yes,
Um,
like bell
yes,
bottom.
like I want to bring back like big hair from the 80s.
You don't have the ability to bring back big hair, but good try.
Um, yeah, so um, like what constitutes a good race? Multiple distances, multiple offerings on the weekend to make the vibe really vibrant. Um, and then we were talking about the hit series of races. If anyone remembers those,
Yep.
it would be like 11 people are doing four different races, and they would have aid stations where it was just a pop-up table, serve yourself
Yep.
with like a map to the closest 7-Eleven for facilities.
I mean, that was the right idea if they had the
I
right,
know.
they had people, right?
Yeah, I think they had the yeah, I think they had the right idea. Um,
It was
I think
the same thing with Rev when they started doing those like pool swim races in the stadiums and having multiple distances over the weekend. That was cool too.
yeah, and it could be like the like how beneficial a benefactor is
Yeah.
when they get behind a movement. You look at someone like, for better or worse, but you had the Lifetime series that was all based off of the directive of a very invested individual who leveraged their company to um, have this grand pursuit of endurance sports. I think we're close. Maybe we'll see something come back, but like we need an entity or an individual to promote those weekend long things. It can't just always be coming from the same people on the call, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think T100 is doing a really good job right now, personally. But that's also at the pointy end of the stick.
Mhm.
And so it needs to trickle down. It's starting to. They have more participation races now too.
Good.
And I think that's a really good distance too. Like that's a distance I would have been good at. I've been real good at that one. All right. So now that we got all that chit chat out of the way,
There you go.
Let's get started here. Here's the plan for the day, everyone. It's very similar to in the past. Few logistics, not many, just a few. We're going to answer your questions that you posted up or ones you have now. If you're on the call, use this time. If you got a question, ask it. No question is, question could be dumb, but it's okay. We'll answer it anyway. Um, and then Andy, I got something we want to talk about with all the races going on and the racing, and how to evaluate your races.
Mhm.
And I mean, I think that's about it. So, ready to dive in, everyone?
Let's do it.
Go. There we go, Catherine. Okay. So, logistics. Not much here. What we can tell you is Andy and I are already turned the page and started working on 2026.
Yes.
So, in the next week or so, about a week, it took us a little longer than we thought. We're gonna put out a team calendar for 2026, so you could sign up for those races. Pretty easy, straightforward. If we get a cumulative mass of people at another race that we didn't make a team race, guess what? That becomes a team race. Pretty awesome. The idea is like, let's get together and do that this year and next year too. Please, if you can, one, fill out the athlete race calendar, and about, I don't know, a third of you maybe did it, and or reply on Facebook to our team calendar race event things. It's just a way for people to then start talking, be like, oh, you're going to be there too? Cool, so am I. Let's hang out. Let's do something. Let's go work out. Whatever. Um, we're actually already working on different kit options for
Mhm.
2026, and they look so good. Um, and we're working on camp stuff. We'll probably have some heavy hitters of like our normal camps, and we
Mhm.
got some new things in the works. Pretty cool. Um, we just did a survey for swim and ski camp. We're going to change that one around a little bit. We got maybe a few adventures that people really want to get into. So be on
I
the
like to use the word optimize, not change, Daniel. We're going to optimize.
Yeah, because we're consultants. We do consulting things, optimizing businessmen. Cool. All right, Potts, let's go into, we're just dive into the questions first. So if
Yep.
people have questions on their questions, we make sure we get to them. So a lot of times we miss that. As always, if you have questions, just speak up or throw it in the chat. Um,
I'll
okay.
be monitoring the chat room.
Okay, thank you. You are the official chat monitor.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we're just going to go down the list from the Facebook group. Best
Mhm.
approach to working in 2 to 3 solid strength sessions per week while smashing the training calendar. Should we even be doing strength sessions? This comes up all the time, Andy. What do you think?
I think strength is an imperative. I think that in endurance sports, there was a recent study that actually came out that said that the bone deterioration and the loss of calcification happens at the same rate as a sedentary individual, as someone who only pursues endurance activities. So we need more than body resistance on in the strength in the weight room and strength development to help us with our longevity. So let's use that as the the jumping off point, if you will. And then the secondary point to that is think of it like this: like I'm going to do a lot of strength work within cycling, swimming, and running. Okay, great. So what's a strength move in swimming? Swimming with paddles. All right, awesome. So you're going to swim with paddles. Let's say you swim, let's just do one lap of the pool. Let's say it takes you 20 strokes normally to cross the pool without paddles. Then you put on paddles and it takes you 18 strokes. So you took away 2 strokes because you're more powerful and you're getting further per stroke because of the power and the speed that you're able to produce. So it's a power producing device, but you're still doing it. Let's say it took you 30 seconds to cross the pool in 18 strokes. So you're doing 30 something 36 times in 1 minute. That's not power. That's still endurance.
Yep.
That's still like think about that, right? So same thing on the bike, right? Like, oh, I do low cadence work to work on power. Okay, great. So instead of cycling at 90 RPMs, you're doing 50 RPMs a minute. Can you imagine doing 50 deadlifts in a minute? 50, 30, or in the swimming world, 36 chest presses in a minute.
Yeah.
So the weight that you need to do something like that is so low, the resistance is so low that it becomes like either it goes into hypertrophy or just like a strength endurance piece. It doesn't actually go into the strength element and the power element of strength building, and the ultimate benefits are creating a little bit more bone density, and therefore you do need to be in the weight room. Now, specific to this question, I feel like you um if you're having trouble with the management of your time in terms of like how to get to the weight room, how to make the most of the weight room, you can go because we know that there's a time element involved, whether that's a 20-minute drive to the weight room, 20-minute drive back, 20-minute session, that's an hour, right? Even if you're only lifting for 20 minutes, it's still an hour of your time. So how can we buttress it up and back it up to an event like if you're already at the pool and they have a weight room? Okay, we want to have a double hit, a little bit of a, a double or a back-to-back workout. So try to leverage your time and space more efficiently. Managing your energy becomes more important that regard, because that will help you with your time management. And it doesn't need to be everything for it to be something.
Yeah. All
So
right.
you go.
Okay. So
Oh, yeah.
you gonna say something?
I was
Sorry.
just going to say, so target the main moves and then let that be the thing. Go ahead, Daniel.
Okay. So similar to that, absent of all these things, there is periodization in the weight room. There's different times of the year for different things. There's mobility work. There's needing to address deficiencies. Take all that off the table. Should you be doing more light weights, low rep stuff? Should you be doing more powerlifting? What is the goal here? Are you and it goes into what you were just saying, complementary versus supplemental.
Yeah. We've been talking about this for a while. We want our strength training to um, complement our endurance work as opposed to supplement. We're not trying to go to the weight room to get more of the same. We're not trying to substitute or supplement an already existing thing. Think of meal supplements. Oftentimes, we have a meal supplement bar where you have a protein bar, and then you're like, okay, now I eat my meal. So you didn't actually supplement. You complemented your meal with a protein bar, you got more protein, but you didn't supplement, actually exchange out the meal for the bar. Same thing here with our endurance work and our strength work. We're not taking out the endurance work to only do the strength work, and we're not only doing or taking out the strength work and only doing the endurance piece. So we want them to complement each other so they play nicely and they're married together. A powerful athlete is a strong athlete. A strong athlete is an efficient athlete, and all those things can happen when you do things at a higher rate development, when you're moving a little bit more resistance, and that resistance training piece needs to be a part of the program. And it can be in a small dose. If you are going to make it smaller, it just has to be a little bit more frequent.
Okay, and I'm going to wrap all this up real quick with going back to the question one more time. Best approach to working in three solid strength sessions. There's two great approaches to this. One is you join our Get Some Strength training group, which is $1 for the first month and $9.99 after. Best deal in triathlon besides our coaching programs. Duh. Second, if you really want to know how to put it together, just have us coach you and we will put it together and make it the best approach possible. Simple, right? Because a good program incorporates your strength, your recovery, your cycling, swimming, biking, running, and everything else in your life and puts it together. So we're here. We got you. Cool. All right, I'll take this one and make it a banger. Tips on choosing how many days should you race after coming back from being out of the country for a week? Okay, there's a lot of ifs, whats, whens, maybes here. In general, what I would say is a week away is not detrimental to your life and your racing. I mean, if you went out on a bender for a week and we're just like in Cancun, like partying up, having fun, yeah, probably might need a couple weeks back. But if when you were away, you were still staying fit and active, moving, you can come back and race. It might actually give you a little bump. I always tell the story of I went to where was I? I was in Hawaii for like 2, 3 weeks, and all I could do was run before a big race. And I ended up having one of the best races ever. I didn't swim, I didn't bike, I just ran. And I'm having a great race. So It really depends on your recovery, what you're doing on your trip, and distance or race you're doing too. Cool. Oh, here's a good one. Yeah, go, Potts.
A small little caveat to that. I think that when whether you're exiting or entering a new environment, if you can have a little bit of um, consistency, like again, it doesn't have to be everything for it to be something. Oh, I'm gonna go for a 20-minute swim. What's a 20-minute swim really gonna do in terms of like moving the ball? Maybe it doesn't move your physiology, but it sure does move that mind. And
Oh,
it sure does move the body. And it sets up the routine and the ball and inertia in motion.
yes.
And inertia is key here when we talk about habits, consistency, and the frame of mind to carve out time for you. When you're your best version of you, you help other people. So don't shortchange yourself in that regard. And personally, I wish I would heed this advice a little bit more.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you hear it everyone here on this call knows this. When you're like, "Oh, I'm so much nicer," or I get so much more done when I work out. Yeah, because you gave yourself a little time for you. Um, Kind of another ancillary point to this is you hear all the time, "Oh, I got to get started again." Just every time I get going, things just happen and things get messed up.
Of
Point being,
course.
whether you're away, you're on vacation, you're home, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just something has to get done.
Yep.
Don't aim for perfect, aim to get it done. Plain and simple. Because otherwise you'll never get it done. It's like when people are trying, like, oh, we're gonna have kids. We're just waiting for the right time. There's no right time. Like there's never a right time. Just don't just have kids, but you know what I mean. All right. All right, I'll hit this one first, and you can go a little more serious on it. Better carry your own nutrition hydration bottle on the run of an Ironman. This person uses like a fanny pack, or go with the weight, or don't go with that weight annoyance and get stuff at aid stations. Okay, if it's infinite nutrition, you should definitely carry it because it's fantastic. The best. Go buy it now. Use our discount code. Woo! No. Um,
Yes.
Long story short. I'm a big fan of just knowing what you need and being able to be adaptive, and being able to grab stuff and know what you need. If you're really dialed on your nutrition, you have it perfect. Like I know Andy, like he would have his own bottles because of the pro station and everything else, and he'd carry stuff sometimes too. Go for it. If carrying something is annoying to you, and don't do it. Like I don't like having anything around me when I like on me when I run. So I know how many calories I need, how many carbs I need. I know this, and then I could be adaptive on the course. Um, First and foremost, know what you need. Know if they have it or not. If they don't, then you don't. Then you have to carry stuff. You got anything to add, Potts?
Yeah, I think you want to, in this regard, it has less to do with the actual calories and the concentration of calories and what's in them, and more to do with the mindset and the personality of the person, right? So if you need to control it and you're okay with adapting, but you want to start with control, then I would say carry it.
Yep.
Um, you like don't fight your personality. At the same time, at the very same time, if you understand what's being offered on the course and you can adapt and overcome, if something were to happen, I wouldn't panic about missing or not having your nutrition or having it not be dialed. I remember one time I put 5 gels in a gel flask and I didn't test the gel flask out before I did it. And the consistency was too thick to make it through the nozzle. So I couldn't actually eat it.
Yeah.
Um, and then it was adaptive and overcome at that point. I do think that everyone, this is going to be controversial, and I don't mean to step on toes and hurt your feelings, but everybody thinks that their body works as a set of one of one. You're a one of one. No one's ever had what you have in terms of what you can tolerate and how you can absorb calories. No one's ever experienced it. So you need it just for you. I don't know if that's actually true. Um,
Bro, that's why you have a
I
custom infinite formula, Potts. Shh, come on, bro.
no, but I'm saying like
I know, I'm joking.
I, I think that, you know, if you can if you can open your mind and be willing to adapt and be open to, to an idea, not all the ideas, but an idea, because things happen that are out of your control, whether they were mistakes or they were on purpose. Being adaptable, this is a microcosm of that in and of itself. Um, and maybe you learn something. Maybe yeah, yes, you are the one of one that can only have this particular consistency of something. I don't know, or you can only eat banana flavored. You can't possibly have another flavor. It's not possible. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it's what you like and it's a preference, but what if you open your mind and find out what else is out there? Maybe you do find something like strawberry. Oh my gosh, strawberry's amazing. And now you like bananas and strawberries. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, and this is what we're going to talk about later, goes back to when you're racing. If you haven't built enough experience doing different things and adapting and overcoming, you feel like you hang on to these little things for control.
Yeah.
And I get that. But control comes from adaptability and being able to overcome and understand what you actually need. Oh, I need 70 to 90 grams of carbs. I need about, I don't know, 24 ounces of water or something. And I need about 300 calories. Okay,
Here,
how am I going to get?
yes. And here's where I would go in terms of the in favor of Infinite, where they really do a wonderful job of like distilling down your sweat rate so you understand, oh, I am a salty sweater. So when things do inevitably go wrong, you know how to adapt for you. And that's what makes you one of one,
Yeah,
not necessarily like okay, I want this carb concentration. I'm looking for about 70 to 80 grams. How do you then find it? Now, can Infinite distill it down to your sweat rate, your carb absorption rate, the flavor profile that you want, and have all of the sodium, potassium, magnesium, all the things that you need to perform well? That's where I think Infinite makes it simple and they can customize it. But then it's not just that's not the end piece. The end piece is the comprehension of what they are doing to help make your life easier. And then if something goes wrong, you have the ability to adapt and overcome, not the deer in the headlights. Oh no, something went wrong and I don't know how to deal with it.
exactly. All right. Moving on. We got a bunch of questions. So we're gonna try and go through these a little quicker here, Potts. All right.
Yep.
All
Sorry.
right. Tips for racing in the rain. One, have the right gear. If it's cold and raining, have a jacket or something to throw on. Two, don't ride on the white or yellow line. It's the slipperiest part of the course. Three, be careful in and out of turns. Four, change your attitude and mindset. The rain feels good. I'm actually faster in the rain because the I'm slicker and I'm faster. Just think that.
More oxygen in the air when it does rain.
Yes, exactly. It's fun to be in the rain. I am splashing around in puddles. It's keeping me cooler potentially, or it's really muggy, but that's awesome because I love muggy weather. That what else that those are my big ones.
Yeah, I would drop PSI
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Drop your PSI and your tires a little
maybe
bit.
5.
Yeah, it depends on your weight.
Yep.
But yeah, you drop your PSI just a little bit so your tire hugs the road more instead of bounces on it and slides on it.
And then I would also try to be really cognizant of staying perpendicular to the ground as much, like a
Yes.
little bit more on purpose. And what does that mean? So the ground, you're on the bike, and when you lean and turn on the bike, you there's less friction that's kept holding you down. So the more perpendicular you can get to the ground, the better. So less like really railing turns can help you. Um,
Go on
it's
like
a, yeah.
on a mountain bike or a gravel bike, the rails are actually some of the grippiest parts, but that's a whole nother game.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have a custom like or a tailor because the kits don't fit body type? No, I've just went to a regular tailor. Scott was doing that for a while, Schnitzband, but now he's not doing it anymore. Remember when he was making the custom stuff pots? Did you know that? Ask him about it. Sorry for that aside. Ask him, be like, hey, whatever happened to your custom bibs and cycling kits? Because he was making they had like a virtual thing and he was working on it. Either way,
Scott Schnitzel?
yeah, ask him.
That's awesome. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. I will.
it was pretty cool. So no, we don't have a custom Liker tailor. I found just going to a regular tailor works pretty well. If you really need a custom suit, I know Sparrow can make them. It just costs a decent amount of money, and you got to work with them, put on your measurements. If you ever want that, let us know. Send one of us an email. We'll get you connected with the right people. Um, Lower leg cramps while swimming. I think whether it's open water or not doesn't matter. How to prevent and how to deal with it. Um, Andy?
Yeah. So sometimes a lot of times this will happen when swimming is the last thing you do that day.
Yep.
Um, I think some of that is reps. You need more reps. Maybe we could take a little bit of intensity out of the game and just go for a little bit of volume when you know you're swimming second. I would also look at the sodium and your electrolyte balance, make sure that's dialed in. And then lastly, be very cognizant of like the power pieces of your swim stroke. So jumping off of walls and really like cinching down on like a power kick or a power. So the more you'll spike the power, the more the muscle will want to have a tendency to cramp and grip. If we are talking about a muscle cramp, if we are talking about like a side stitch, that is a little bit different of a game. In general, side stitches have to do with like a spasmodic diaphragm. And I really like the physiological sigh to help you with getting more rhythmical diaphragm movement through the breath. The physiological sigh is like you breathe in and it's an audible exhale. When you control the exhale, you start to settle your energy. When you force the exhale, you excite or accelerate your energy production. So I would work on a controlled exhale. And then if you're really cramping, I like the double inhale. So the double inhale goes like this, it goes, and then you eat the second one. So you go breathe in deep, almost as deep as you can. And then you go, and you gulp the second one, forces a little bit more space between your lung and the diaphragm. Hold and then let go. You'll need to do that like anywhere between 4 to 8 times. A double inhale will help you with the diaphragm spasm in a side stitch. Hopefully that's helpful.
All right. We'll get three more. We'll do a quickish. Okay, so ketone IQ, how do you like to best utilize it and timing for use? I just put a link in the chat. Honestly, I've never used ketone IQ. I only know what I've read, so I can't tell you what I like. I think their loading procedure and how they use it sounds sounds double double. Seems good. I cannot tell you from personal experience. Sorry. And Potts, I don't think you've used it either, right?
And ketone IQ is one of there aren't many products, legal products that I haven't tried. The ketone IQ is one of them. I've never experimented with it. Now, I have done fasted riding and fasted training in the past. Um, this is a version of how to get there, but still remain efficient. I think when it's like almost more important than the ketone loading sequence and protocol is, are you executing your workouts as designed, as prescribed, in the right order, in the right time? Super easy to say, hard to do. I think that will play a bigger physiological piece to your game than ketones will. Can ketones help you get there and help keep you in the moment? Maybe.
They're delicious, though, I've heard. They're so good.
I think I like this question makes me want to try it and
Yeah,
like do a little experiment with myself saying, hey, does what they say resonate with me?
that would require you to exercise, Andy. Might be a problem there. Okay. Okay, double whammy. Tips for racing in extreme heat and best socks for hot weather runs. Um, Socks, I personally like the Presio socks we have. I wear CEP socks pretty much every day of my life though. So either of those would work great. People have been wearing, I don't know if you've seen this, more like merino based products, even in hot weather, which I think is interesting because I've never thought of it that way. Yeah. And then tips for racing in the heat. You got to keep yourself cool. I mean, that sounds silly, but how do you keep yourself cool? What are the parts on your body that cool the fastest? Like, or you want to put things, crotch, head, wrists. So ice in those places always helps. Um, I'm trying to think what else would really help in extreme heat. Staying hydrated, staying on top of your nutrition. You can train your body to be better in heat. This goes back to what Andy was just saying. A lot of people will go and start training in the middle of the day or in the heat to get used to it, but then their training suffers for a really long time. And you're kind of defeating the purpose in some ways of training and recovery if you only train in that state. So you have to balance training in the heat, getting your body acclimated to it, and actually being able to perform the workout as described. AP?
Yeah, I really like. All right, let's go socks. Going back up to socks, I really like CEP. CEP makes a thin, hot environment sock that actually promotes airflow and venous blood return. I don't understand the merino call. I think it has to do with style, not. I think it's form, not function. That's a guess,
I
and
might have
maybe
made that
because
up
I'm
too.
old.
I might have made that up too. I don't know.
Okay, I'm starting to get more gray than black, so I think that I could be just old.
Yeah.
All right. And then in terms of the heat, couple things here. You can teach your body, it can adapt, just like you can train your stomach for nutrition, your muscles for endurance or strength, or strength endurance or power. You can teach your body how to deal with heat. I do like the use of a sauna at the right like timing is important. Now, what Daniel said is quite fascinating and very true from all the literature that I've read. Three parts of your body do not or don't have the capability to grow hair. Why it is, what's going on, how to leverage it. So we have five parts on our body that cannot grow hair. Our forehead, for a lot of people, forehead, our palms, and the bottoms of our feet. How can we use them? We can use palmar cooling. I don't know if you remember the name of Torbjorn Simbale, but he was experimenting with this back in 2001, 2003.
I think it was more like three.
Okay.
Yeah, three to
So
five. 3 to 5.
Torbjorn was racing in Hawaii and he wore this white glove and he would stick ice in his glove. It's kind of Michael Jackson style, right? And he was on he was on to something there because and what we're learning in the medical profession now is when you are dealing with um, someone who is what hypothermic, okay, when you're really cold, where do you want to warm up, right? So what we were doing were you would insulate the chest and you'd really try to warm your chest, warm the core and the extremity, like the blood flow that has been shunted to the core to protect your body will be eventually able to um, feed to your limbs and warm up that way. Some in the medical community are now saying to either cool down or heat up, the most efficient way to do it to signal your body that you're warm. And we've been onto this in skiing and winter sports for a really long time hand warmers, boot warmers. Put them on the bottoms of your feet and in your palms, and your body will think you're warmer than you are, and therefore it will continue to operate as if. Same thing in the heat. You put cooling on your palms, really hard to do on the bottom of your feet in an ambulatory upright sport as a able-bodied athlete. I'm experimenting with wheelchairs, and but some of it is like they can't feel anything on their feet. So is there really like, because they can't feel the sensation, can it help them or hurt them? Anyway, and then you're what we're seeing, and you've seen it since 17. When did Omnius come out with their headband?
Yeah, it was around then, 17 or so, 16, 17, 17, roughly, I think.
So why did Omnius? They found these crystals, and do you notice the location, right? Like, what's their thinking behind their devices? And that is helping your body cope with extreme environments. In this case, the heat. They found an element, the crystals on your, and the location. So it's on your head. Air passes through. You get a cooling sensation. You feel cooler. You're able to execute at a higher percentage of your capacity or ability. Same thing with palmar cooling. I think we use those 3 points, left hand, right hand, forehead, to help inform your actions going forward, whether that's heating or cooling. Put a toque on your head to stay warm over your forehead. And that's also why you'll see people with just bands, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm just as warm with a with an ear thing that goes over your ear in the warm weather." I don't know, pretty fascinating to think of why behind those products, but that's what I've seen.
There we go. Perfect. Love it. Last question before, and it's actually will dovetail into what we're talking about. What would you say to one of your athletes that are injured themselves and their races for the year are done? I would say you're done to me. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. This is a great question. And again, it's going to go to what we're talking about today. Injuries kind of suck. They can be super demoralizing, especially when you had big plans, especially when you're really looking forward to something and you're working really hard towards something. But I know we're all very much results oriented and very much race oriented, but like at the end of the day, whether you race or not, how well you race or not, should not be the critical determinant of how you feel and what you do. So, like we were talking about earlier, there in your training, what were we talking about earlier? I don't know what we were talking about earlier. I forgot. I completely lost my train of thought. Cool.
So we were talking about I think you were getting to the space where we wanted to take the main point of the day is into the percentages of good training days, okay training days, great training days, bad training days, and same with racing.
Yes, there you go. So, a lot of your days, training, racing, otherwise, are not going to be great. They're going to be hard. They're going to be terrible. They might be awful. But what determines whether they're good or not really comes down to right here. And even if it was a bad day, it could still be a good one. Like, I don't know, like, I have a hard time. Like, I come back from a run or workout and I was like, man, that was terrible. Like, that was just bad. And my wife will be like, oh, how was it? I was like, terrible. And she goes, you always say it's terrible. Why not say it's great? And I started saying it was great. And now I think of all my workouts as great. And then I look forward to them and they're great. I mean, I'm barely moving, relative, but it's great because I think of it that way. And that makes all the difference in the world. Um, so I would say to this athlete or any athlete that hurt themselves, well, first of all, what's the thing you can point towards now? Like, all right, maybe it's getting better. Maybe it's something with my family. Maybe it's now I'm going to start playing for next year. Maybe it's like now I have time to work on these other things or find a different activity or interest. I can tell you one athlete I work with has been hurt for the past like 2 years. A lot of on and off, a lot of on more than off. And we're like, well, maybe our focus is in a triathlon. maybe it's an event or a race or like an ultimate a challenge, like something that really speaks to you and gets you excited. Because at the end of the day, you just have to be excited about something. So let's find what makes you excited and go there. Um, yeah. Would you say anything else about that? And then we can go further, Potts?
The only thing I think you were saying it, but I'm going to just say it overtly is, what can you do?
Yeah.
What can you do today? And then that's our focus. Like, it's not about what you can't do; it's what you can do, and how do you maximize what is at your fingertips, at your disposal.
Yep, exactly. Perfect. All right. So speaking of which, and getting into this, for the people that are racing, we've had a lot of people race, and they like some races are awesome. Some are like in terms of like where they wanted to be, results, whatever. Some are not great. And so, how do we look at our racing after we've raced and determine, was it a good race or not? So, should I be happy or not? I think one part of this is very much we're very much results oriented. So like, did I get the result I want? No. Well, did I have a good time? Were there positives I could take out of it? And then the other is like the numbers game. Like, how do I analyze my race? And if you have questions about this, we can go deep. But like at the surface level, when Andy and I are evaluating a race, whether it's Andy's or one of our athletes or whatever, we'll first start at, did I have the place I wanted? Again, did I make money in our case? Second, um, uh, did I hit the metrics I wanted? Did I bike how I wanted to bike, or was I at least with the group I wanted to be with? Did I swim the run? Did I run the way I want? Then we dive deeper into all those things. Was I better on the back half than the front half? If it's a course that repeats itself, was this section similar both times I went through? Did I improve? Right? Um, did I fade? Um, what else would I ask myself? Was my kilojoule burn in line with what I thought it would be, or do I have to rejigger that and rejigger my training?
Mhm.
Um, was I in control where I can impose my will on the race instead of
Mhm.
having the race impose its will on me?
Mhm.
That's probably the most important thing out of all. If I can impose my will on the race, I am properly trained and I've executed properly. If I am like beholden to what's going to happen in the race, and I'm just like, oh, please don't die, not so good. Okay. So those are more like the performance side of things. But at the end of the day, kind of like we talking about earlier, how you look at the race, the process leading up to the race, you could have had great training, your fitness could have improved greatly, everything could have been great. You could have had a stinker of a race. It happens. Or you could have had a great race and it felt terrible. Doesn't have to feel good. Andy, we were talking earlier about like percentages, right?
Mhm.
So like what were we saying? Like in when you have a race or a training event, what percentage of it do you have to manufacture for yourself?
75 to 80% of the races and training days that you do, at some point along the way, you have to manufacture or self drive the outcome, how you want things to play. Oh, today's not, like I'm kind of sore here. What do I have to do? And then you make a small adjustment and you execute what you can do, not what you can't do. Um, oh, it seems like the glass ceiling is stuck at 144 beats. I can't quite raise my heart rate up. Why is it stuck? Okay, we're gonna pump it up to 162, even if it's for a short blast. Come back down, pump it up 166. Okay, come back down 162 again. Come back down. Oh, 145 doesn't feel so laborious anymore. So these learning how to manufacture the a performance becomes intradisciplinary, and this can only be done. And Daniel said it is in the doing. It's in the doing. You got to do it, and you got to have reps doing it, doing swimming, doing biking, doing running. How do you get to the places you need to be? And this is about 75 to 80% of your racing.
Yeah. All right, so here's one for you. And you just said it, Andy. I had a guy this past week say, like, hey, went to the race, first hour on the bike, I was so flat. I couldn't push anything.
Mhm.
And then eventually I came around. Well, when we're training for longer distances, this actually tends to happen because of the nature of the work you do and how long usually your warm-ups are and how long your sets are. What Andy just said is really important. How do you manufacture yourself to get there quicker, right? One, you could be patient and wait, but the other way is you got to go super hard to break through, and then you can settle in and your body kicks into gear. And that's a way to manufacture something. Um, Going back though, and I'm going to ask you to tell a story here, Potts, for anyone that hasn't been to a camp. It's the one you've told before. Whether you have a good day or bad day is determined by this. Whether the day was good or bad on paper, how you look at it after is determined by this. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. Like you could have two people that have this same goals, races, everything, and then have the same race, and it wasn't good, or it was great. You both were top two, right? I don't know, first and second, second, third, whatever. And one person's really happy and one's not. It's because how you're looking at it, pre and post, right? So and the same goes true to being adaptive when you race. So, Potts, you told a story a lot. I believe we were in Minnesota one year. We're standing at the start line and your wetsuit just completely ripped. That was Minnesota, right?
Kelly.
It was Oceanside.
Mhm.
That's right. And so, could you imagine all of you guys? You're sitting at the start line of the race. What was it? A couple of minutes before you're about to jump in the water, and your wetsuit completely rips. Your mind is going to affect you here. Like you can either be like, "Oh shit, life is over, my day's done, the world's up against me." And this is why I'm going to have a crappy race, da da da. Or what happened, Potts?
Yeah, so minutes before, even if I had a spare wetsuit, wouldn't have mattered. So everything was assembled. It wasn't like the zipper broke. I was stretching and I got a hole right at the base of the zipper, and the hole was bigger than my fist, right? A pretty big, decent sized hole.
Oh
And just
no.
it ripped, right? And it was basically within 90 seconds of us getting into the water, and I was like, oh my gosh. Oh wow. I've got a hole. Can't change. That's okay. What do I do? Okay, mobility in my shoulders really good. I have like there's nothing that's affecting my actual stroke. It may adjust my position. And when any water comes in my back, now it has an exit point. All of a sudden, this hole that I was like, this could be drag and it could weigh me down. I was like, oh, you always have water enter. Now it has an exit. This is now a speed hole. I'm going to be faster because of hydrodynamics and the way that air and water flow over your body now has the exit, clean exit. Maybe we should all manufacture wetsuits with a hole in the bottom because speed holes are a thing. And I thought this to myself for 22 minutes of the swim. End up having a great swim. Um, and yeah, I ended up having a good day.
Did you win?
And for the
Yeah,
W.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
But even if you didn't win, it still would have been a good day.
yeah, like yes, for sure. And like instead of 22 minutes of dread and then kicking myself on the first half hour of the bike, it was like set it up, knock it down, set it up, knock it down. Here's the expectation. Here's where I am mentally. Here's how to leverage it and to make the most of it. Here's how to execute the actual details and mechanics of the doing, the swim stroke to get you to swim fast. People always get concerned with like the overwhelming, like it's not even outcome oriented. It's like they're worried about how it feels. Dude, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck. Like get into it. Like that is now it's got to be cool. But when I drill down into the actual details of what makes us a good cycling stroke, how to sit properly on the machine so your skeleton's supporting your weight, how to run so the toe off is the big toe is the last thing to touch the ground. You always have the forward lean. You know, you're not chin's not pulling away from your chest. All these details in the mechanics, making sure that elbow gets space back. it helps you through any and all sticky spots. And then soon enough, you're in the good headspace where this positive self-talk is overwhelming. And you are, again, it's an illusion, but you turn that thing that was out of control into your control and you start managing and manipulating and influencing the race how you want to be, how you want to dictate the day.
All right. So in your career, you've raced a bunch.
Mm.
How many races would you say you felt so good? It felt so great it just felt so good the entire time. It was the best.
Yeah. I might be overestimating, but I'd say 2 to 3 every 4 years. I would feel that way. I do remember a spate of 5 years. It didn't happen once, which was a bummer, especially when you race frequently, right? So it's not like I'm gearing up for 1, 2, or 3 races a year. I'm gearing up for 12, 15, 18 races a year, and it still doesn't
And
happen. Like
even when it felt
you,
that good, oh, sorry, go. Oh, he froze. See, it doesn't feel good. He's frozen. Look, he's like, oh, it hurts. Oh, it's terrible. Is he frozen to you guys too? He's frozen to me. I don't know.
but it is a process.
All right. So 2 to 3, right? Even when
Every
it,
every 4 years.
and he was like, oh, that firing on all cylinders, great. Did it still hurt, or was it just like, like, or was it just
Yeah.
no? It felt lovely, like unicorns and rainbows.
No, it was real work. It's just
Yeah,
it was those days when it was like, this is crazy, crazy hard. When I say go, my body says, sure, yes,
control,
of
control.
course. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you need more? Fine.
yeah,
I
yeah.
need more power. Roger that. Coming back at you. Like, fine. Those are like I might say I had 8 of those in 23 years,
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
maybe less.
Yeah, it's a hard thing. And
Yeah.
again, this goes back to having to manufacture it always and just staying in that right mental space to
Yep.
say, I'm going to push, I'm going to try, I'm going to give my best no matter what. And
Yep.
if it doesn't go great, I know I gave it. You said something the other day that you were talking to the kids, you were coaching, and you were talking about like when you go to race, or if you want to remember this trip and enjoy
Oh yeah.
yourself, right? What did you say?
Go fast. Try your best. Perform. Like you want to go, you want to create a special memory. It doesn't matter where you are. If you do your very best, if you let all of your decision making leading up to it in the moment and coming out of the main thing, and
Ooh, frozen on me. Hello, frozen again. I think he froze for you guys too. If not, I'm talking and so is he. We shall see. I don't know. But that's a really funny face. Look at that. Is that funny to you guys too? Give me a thumbs up if he's frozen to you. No? Maybe?
so if we're up to 80% of the days um, are manufactured, you're looking at 15% is are bad days. You have bad days, and then less than 5% are magic.
Yep. Agreed. Indeed. All right, Potch, you keep on breaking up. I don't know what's going on. So, and some people don't even see your video. I don't get it. So here we go. Here's what I'm gonna say. I don't know. If you have more questions, let us know. You can email, call, text us. If you haven't filled out the survey thing I put on Facebook, fill it out. If you got something you want us to talk about in the future, let us know. If you need help, let us know. A lot of let us know right now. Besides that, it's race season, baby. If you can race, have fun. I hate have fun. I hate it so much. And push, enjoy yourself, give your best, and in that you will have a great memory, no matter the outcome. Um, Aim for control in training and racing, and that will give you results. And get out there, get after it, and have an awesome day. That's all I got. Looks like Potts is gone, so I think we're all gone. All right, guys, have a great day. Twos.